Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again today. I appreciate it. I had to reschedule it, man, because I got my manicure and pedicure. She showed up right at the time that the original 10 o'clock was going to be started. And I have to get it because there's no telling when she's going to be back. And she's a good one. Shout out to the NTZ crew. That's Michael Beat Your Life. Let's see if Jacob Tanje's on her. I know he's still on the hamster wheel. I appreciate y'all, man. What's up, Cisco? All my fourth quarter members. He said financial or physical to your health, period. All your health. Financial, physical, spiritual, if you're not careful. What's up, Jeffrey? Chad, I appreciate you, man. Roger Walker, 6'9". What's up? Any of my old heads on here. There's Alpha Genius on here. I didn't see him. But one Mike Focus. Welcome back, man. It's been a while since I seen you. He said, I'm supposed to be headed down there. I need to be in the know. Well, you know, on this latest video I made, a guy wrote in there, he said, men have to educate themselves. We think we know everything it is to know about dating over here, man. Y'all don't realize the stakes are much higher here. Women go to extreme lengths to separate you from your money. Some women, not all. Some. And it's time that we learn the rules, man. That's why I talk about these subjects. It's repetition, repetition, repetition. If it's not repetitious, then it's only entertainment. You're not going to learn anything. And some guy keeps saying, everybody keeps saying, oh, it happens everywhere. Y'all, the government ought to warn you about all women. Nope. I'm sorry, it's not all women, first of all. But you know, we always say, men ain't going to pay for it regardless. Yeah, but let me tell you this. We pay more in certain places. Hey, lad. Thank you for joining us. That's an old head. Any new viewers and subscribers watching for the first time today, welcome. I mean that. There's Doubtful Genius. Hey. What's that, Kamal? What's up, Kamal? Yeah. Anybody catch this on replay, man? The peso is 59.14. I'm telling y'all, it's going to hit 60. Not because I said it. The experts said it. They said by the end of the year, it's going to hit 60, man. I'm waiting. I sent me some money, myself some money today because you never know. You might get up in the morning, man, and it's 58 something. But I believe it's going to hit that 60. And when we do, man, it's going to be party hardy. Yeah, guys, hit the like button, man. It's free. But, you know, the first thing I want to talk about, this is crazy, right? The Trump administration is proposing a 50-year mortgage. For the love of Jesus, will they just sit their asses down? A 30-year mortgage is enough, man. What in the world is going on with people to try to improve home ownership? Man, y'all can talk that stuff to somebody else. A 50-year mortgage. What do y'all think about that? A 50-year mortgage? It's ridiculous, man. You have to take a mortgage out when your boobies age just to improve it. Hey, welcome back, man. What do y'all think about that? 50-year mortgage? Okay, let me show you what the experts say on here because I said, let me look some stuff up. Because, you know, the real estate prices in America are already overvalued. But I'm going to tell you what the experts say. Okay, the Fitch ratings, you know, these are the two top ratings, the Fitch ratings and Totality. Estimated the U.S. home prices were overvalued by 11%. And they also noted that 85% of the markets are overvalued. And then Totality said they indicate that 75% of the top 100 housing markets in the U.S. were considered overvalued, man. Come on, guys. Okay? And then you put on top of that inflation, price increases. It's crazy, man. And now they want you to pay a million. But by the time you pay off a 50-year mortgage, hell, it's going to be $1 million for $100,000 house. Hell, in 2004, when I closed on my house, I borrowed it was $109,000. By the time, if I would have kept it for 30 years, it would have been $278,000. That's 2004 on a 30-year mortgage. Now imagine you just double that basically. That's crazy, man. But I'm not celebrating because the government shutdown ended, because it never should have happened. And I don't want y'all to celebrate either. Don't celebrate that, man. We should stay on their asses right now. Don't vote for them, man. Vote some new people in there. Hey, thank you, Ty. Appreciate it. He said, Cal, is it true that you need a vaccination card to travel to the Philippine Islands like Sikihor? No. That was only during COVID and the lockdowns. The Philippines is wide open now, ladies and gentlemen. But I just wanted to run that by y'all. What's up, Blizzard Abroad? Oh, okay, Walk America. Thank you for that interview. John Stewart, yeah, 50 years. But this is what happens when you got the Beverly Hillbillies running the White House. But we ain't going to get into that. Yeah, Matt Bassett. Yeah, we know that's you, brother. But I made a video for my members only yesterday. I was talking about it's our time now. This is the fourth quarter and the clock is ticking. If you don't do it now, guys, ladies and gentlemen, you're never going to do it because you're going to run out of time. Well, you're going to run out of life, not run out of time. We've taken care of everybody else. It's time that we take care of ourselves. It's time that we become a little bit more selfish. It doesn't mean neglect your responsibilities. It doesn't mean give back and volunteer and all that other stuff. But it says to be more selfish with your time, your energy, your money. Because if you don't do it now, it's never going to get done. But of course, you're going to get pushbacks from that from other men. Some guy was all in my DM today. I was like, dude, I just made the video. I told you don't look too much into it. Men are tired of being taken for granted and underappreciated. Matt Bassett, thank you. I appreciate it, man. Welcome back to the fourth quarter. This guy walked across America. That's what I said. He walked across America. This is the type of guys that want something out of their fourth quarter. Okay? Don't knock it till you try it. I can't imagine what he went through, man. I walked from here to Dumageddon. It damn near killed me. I bruised my heels, man. I mean, they hurt. You know, of course, when you walking, man, you just got to keep pushing yourself. But when you finally sit still, and every bone in your body, man. And my damn tongue was hurting. He said driving across America is tough enough. Yeah. But let's talk about, I wanted to expand on what I was talking about on my video today. Because we need to talk about this over and over and over till it registers in your mind. That dating over here is not the same as it is in your country. The stakes are higher. People are a lot more desperate, man. And a lot of times it's not just men being gullible and blockheads. We're being lured over here. We're being robbed, man. Y'all won't listen, though. Should there be a travel advisory about dating in the Philippines? I say yeah. It doesn't matter if you don't pay it any attention. Put it on that front page where everything else is. If you tell us don't go to Mindanao, tell us to be careful when we're dating over here. Don't just talk about the love scams and don't send money. That's the extent they go through. They just tell you don't send money to strangers and people you don't know. They don't tell you that if you get involved with a woman in the Philippines that you meet online, that you're liable to lose your life savings, that you're liable to lose your life. They don't tell you that. They need to tell you that because y'all don't listen to us. But if they put an official stamp on it and say, look, men are dying over there for whatever reason. They're losing their retirement. They're losing their life savings. They're losing their lives in a lot of instances. Beware of that. Y'all think I'm crazy. But see, nobody else is going to hit you with stuff like this and make you think about stuff like this. But it's all happy-go-lucky on their videos. It's never real life stuff. It's never real life stuff. This hit me because I hope y'all clicked on that video, and then I put an extra short in there from this guy's an American who's homeless over here. He's in bad shape. And I'm thinking, how's that even possible? How's it even possible to become homeless in the Philippines when the cost of living is so much lower than it is in the West? I don't know how it is, man, But this guy from Britain, he caught the woman cheating, and he confronted her, and he said he left. So while he was gone, she destroyed all of his government documents. But y'all don't listen, man, because people tell you this stuff all the time. I think Richie Rich and Chain just made a video about what happens when you break up with a Filipino. Some of these women over here are very vengeful, man. I've been through it myself. I'll have you blacklisted. I can cause you trouble over that. Okay, they're all nice and they all, you see that exterior and it fools you. Why do we put up with so much shit over here that we don't put up with at home? Because we think we don't have help over here. We have help. There's help for us over here. But you've been told over and over and over that there's no help. So you just walk away. Guys just walk away. And I do want to shout out that mayor in Lapu-Lapu, man, he's a bad man. I got to give him his flowers, man, because he's the same mayor that helped this British guy who helped the black guy. When the black guy sent his life savings over here to the Filipino, they don't know who it was. But when he arrived at Mactan International Airport, there was nobody there. He was broke. He was so broken down spiritually, man, that the guy collapsed. He ended up in the hospital. And the mayor helped expedite his situation so he could get back home. This guy ain't no joke, man. We got help over here. But we don't seek help. It happens over and over because these women aren't being, and men, because sometimes it's men behind those profiles and behind the women, they're not being held accountable. So they know, okay, so what? You want to take me on robbery too? Oh, that's good. All he's going to try to do is get the money back. He's not going to prosecute me. A lot of these cases over here, these women need to be prosecuted. They're committing crimes. They're stealing money. They're robbing people. That's robbery. What's up, Billy Gold? He said, I just wanted to show some support, man. Give a like. I appreciate it. He said, I see you still yelling at the simps. I'm taking the notes. I promise. Have a great night. Hey, I appreciate it. That's just my passion, man. It's just who I am. I'm not one of them whisperers, Blizzard Bra, what's up? You still getting, man, your props, man. on that song, man. That's a hit record. If they played that song nationwide, that'd be a million seller. Cause there ain't a lot of good music, new music. If you don't like Taylor Swift, there's nobody else really making music out there. I can't believe it. I sit here sometime, me and Merlin, we watching videos from the 70s and the 80s of music. And I was like, well, where are all the groups? Where are all the singers? They're out there. They've just destroyed the music industry. He said, but as soon as a man says women are not at the top of the list, yeah, it's other men that clown him. Yeah, if you try to come over here for something other than that. But they always want to throw out there, oh, it happens everywhere. I'm not everywhere. I'm in the Philippines. How many more stories do we need to see? Or you realize, guys, that there's something deeper going on over here. It's something more sinister than what you could even imagine. But we become immune to it. The stories don't even faze us anymore. We don't even try to raise up or pull back the curtain and see what's really going on. It's too many men losing their life savings over here, man. Going homeless. And that's really hard to do. You really got to be hustling backwards really, really hard to go broke over here. He said, I mostly listen to old school and international music. I agree, Cal. Yeah, they destroyed the music industry. I mean, when one group phased out, there was another group to replace them. That's just not there anymore. Or it's just this angry rap that I can't understand what they're saying. And I guess I'm not supposed to. I'm 62, but hell, where's the replacement for New Edition and their replacement? It's so bad. Certainly if you like R&B music, that you got to go to concerts and see a big bloated Bobby Brown, wobbling across the stage because we don't have nobody else to watch. And I love Bobby Brown, but I don't want to see him now. Bobby Brown, you put some respect on his name. He was a bad man. I seen him in concert. I seen Mary J. Blige, TLC, and Bobby Brown was the headliner. TLC came on first. But I want to see all that foolishness, man, right now. I mean, these guys are old. Even if you like the rap from the good old days. I saw where Naughty by Nature. Come on, man. But I mean, there's not even anybody there. There's not even anybody there. All they were there has to be a replacement, man. There always has been. When you got a woman like Gladys Knight who's still performing at 80 plus, man, it's a shame. Whoever's pushing her out there like that, because I've seen videos, man, it's pretty bad. Okay. It lets you know something's wrong. And that's all we got to see is senior citizen performers. They're old now. He said, 1 year into my tired relationship, I'm still loving it. The budget videos are full of crap though. Yeah, you already know. I don't do budget videos. It's just, it would be impossible. Now, I'd like to have Angelo Habib on here. He's the only one that I've ever met over here that tracks their spending to every pay. So it's hard to do. That's why we don't do it. So why would I do a budget video when I know I'm not going to get it right? It's just going to be a general look at my expenses, basically. I'm going to forget half the stuff I spent, half the money I've given away and everything to help people and all that stuff. Yeah, greed keeps them torn, but really necessity too, Jacob Tanjay, because we don't have anybody. Where's the new Whitney Houston? She's out there. Mariah Carey. We got to look at these old ass women. Look at Keisha Cole. Like, come on, man. We enjoyed them in their prime. It should be somebody there to take their place. It's not. Monica's on tour. Okay? Come on, guys. Hey, Raw Digital, welcome, man. He said, I finally made it to a live stream. When it's live, nice to be here, Cal. Hey, thank you. Oh, I love Gladys Knight. They were at the peak when I was pre-teens and early teens. They made a little comeback when Babyface wrote her that song. Babyface, and then I think Reggie Calloway wrote her a song too. Kind of brought her career back in the 80s, but that was it. That was it. What's up, Rashard? Yeah, but there ain't no good music today, man, and it's a shame. But we don't push back. We just let it happen. So a lot of times, if you really want to hear good music, you got to go to church in America. That's where they are. The gospel is really, that's where the R&B singers are. The young and upcoming great singers. Yeah, they're keeping our Coliseums alive. Yeah, they are. Yeah, Save the Overtime. That was Reggie Calloway when he was writing all them hits for everybody. And I worked on Spring Grove Avenue. And every day, believe it or not, guys, I would go by this little bitty studio, Reggie Calloway, Babyface, the deal, they all would be in there. Because Reggie Calloway, during the early 80s to mid 80s, man, there was nobody hotter than him. Not in R&B. Man, everything he touched turned to platinum. What's up, Confident Voice Speaks? He said, what's up, Unc and Sunshine Shows crew? Got done blasting at the gym, man. I'm so sore now. I went yesterday. I'm going to interview a older lady today. The younger lady went back to college. She wasn't there yesterday. But one of the coaches over there, she said, yeah, you can interview me. So I'm going to go over there today. The name of the video is just going to be Just Call Her Coach. I'm not even going to tell y'all her name or nothing. But thank you, Confident Voice Speaks. He sent me 5,000 pesos. He wanted to give back to the community, man, affected by the earthquake. And I spin the wheel 5 times, man. Everybody came forward. He said they're pushing rap music because that destroys the culture of people. It's about destruction now. I can't understand what they're saying, so it's not going to get into my head, but you're right. Hold on. Hey, let Curly in. Yeah, then you got AI, because I don't know. Yeah, Reggie Calloway from Midnight Star, man. Yeah, they need the money. You're right. Performers weren't paid well in the music industry through the 90s, unless you were someone like Gamble and Huff, songwriters. And the big boys like Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie, people like Luther, who could, not only could they perform, but they could write too. R. Kelly. It just wasn't too many, even Gerald Levert. But see, when I grew up, I had to listen to, they called it soft rock back then. It was really like white soul to me because, the radio station where I lived in Louisville, Kentucky, it went out the soul station. That's what we used to call it, soul music. It wasn't R&B then. It went off at 5:30. So you had to listen to the soft rock stations. So the Carpenters, the Eagles, and all that, Engelbert, Humperdinck, and all of them, man. You start Three Dog Night, and you learned all that music. Yeah, Ella May, but there's not enough music. She's not putting out enough music. She can't do it herself. And even if she could, we like the diversity. Whereas Maze, imagine Maze stayed together all the way really to the end. The LTDs, with Jeffrey Osborne, Shalimar. I still listen to Shalimar every single morning. It gets me going, man. But it's just, he said three. Oh, okay, so they're asking you what your budget is around. For most of us, the budget is how much we spend. We don't have a budget, really. You can't really call it a budget. A budget is putting a limit on how much you can spend. It's not spending everything you got. Most of us aren't disciplined enough to do that. If we were, we'd be in better financial shape than we are now. We just don't have the discipline. We living from week to week, man, from paycheck to paycheck. I'm not saying that. Don't get on me. The experts say that 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, meaning if you skipped a paycheck with this old government shutdown, you couldn't pay your bills, man. A lot of people, man, are backed up. I hope they get back pay. You would think they would, so don't celebrate, man. Stay on these clowns. Demand some accountability over there. He said, Cal been by that music studio in Cincinnati. Two, the building is still there. Yeah, it's right there. Almost, it's either right after that bridge that takes you over the Price Hill or right after it. Because I worked there for however many years. Joe Stigler with Stigler's Janitorial Supplies. I started out there as the delivery guy, just part-time, delivery warehouse guy. And then me and the warehouse manager, we became real close. And he got a good job at General Motors. So he went in there and he said, man, you got to let Calvin take over. He's sharp. He knows the business. And he gave me the job. And they were paying me $6.25 an hour. I'm trying to think what year this was, 1985. I mean, I was happy as hell. I was like, that's the most money I'd ever made, outside of the service. I couldn't believe it, yeah. And they were so good to me, man. Every Christmas, they'd have a Christmas party. And, these were Jewish. This was a Jewish guy. And I was the first black person to ever work for him. And they trusted me, man. He co-signed for loans for me to get a car, to get a loan, the whole 9 yards, because Fifth Third Bank was right across on the other side of Spring Grove. But I worked there for a few years, man. It's really, really nice. But let's get back to this, man. In my humble opinion, though, something deeper and more sinister is happening here. It's just not me and being blockheads. But like I said, we become immune to these stories that it's like, oh, well, another one bites the dust. And everything, men quit being simps and all of that. Not realizing that there's a concentrated effort over here, man, by a certain group of people. And they got a lot of victims. Yeah. Here, take it out there. Take care. They say, I'm gonna download. No, you're not gonna download nothing until I get off of here. And I'll help you. Don't download nothing on that phone. The last time I let her use my phone, she ordered a damn trampoline. What's up, Gerald? He said after a good workout, I'm having breakfast at the Eastern Grand Hotel in Sathorn, Bangkok. I really like Bangkok, man. I really couldn't believe I was there, to be honest with you. Me and Eric Terry went over there together. The first night I woke up, man, I was like, damn, I'm in Thailand. And I rode the BTS. We went to the mall, and then I eventually got Mr. Lee to take me to Pattaya. And I stayed there 2 nights. I really enjoyed that. This was 2022. Shout out to Jeffrey Tatter for that. He hooked me up with Mr. Lee. Yeah, Gerald Levert, man, was the only performer that I allowed my wife to hoot and holler at the concert. Yeah. But the music industry is sad, man. Hey, what's up, AB? Good to see you, man. He said, hope all is well. This guy is a great guy right here, man. The type of guy I can hang out with. This is the golfer here. So if y'all all around Southeast Asia, if you're a golfer, he knows where the courses are. He travels all over. I believe the last place when you were over here, you were on your way to Bahrain. But yeah, good to hear from you, man. He's a good guy, man. He said, "Will you make your way up Angeles City area for a meet and greet?" We're gonna probably come up there, but probably not for a meet and greet. I like Angeles City. I just like to go up there. Yeah, it's good food over here, believe it or not. People always talk about the food in the Philippines. I don't know what y'all talking about. Who's cooking your food? That's all I'm saying. Who's cooking your food? I could name you. I mean, but the Philippines doesn't have to create this big tourism infrastructure because they just don't have the people. Thailand was forced to do that. But now their tourism is in a downward spiral, man. If you want to call 21 million a downward spiral, but it is from 39 million. Thailand was flexing its muscles, man, in 2019. Yeah, the Black Beer Lot. You damn right. I used to go over there. Man, I was in Cincinnati, man, during the glory days. Dave Parker playing for the Reds. Eric Davis. I remember, just like how they doing Shedeur Sanders right now, they were doing Barry Larkin like that. They wouldn't bring Barry Larkin up knowing he was the best shortstop they had. They finally brought him up, and guess what? He became a Hall of Famer. I remember those days. I should be so mad, like, when y'all going to bring Barry Larkin up? But that's Ohio for you. They wouldn't bring the man up, man. He was the best thing the Reds had. But that's Ohio for you. What's up, Soul Snatcher? Yeah, Soy 6. You got to see this place. I mean, if you don't do anything else when you're in patio, go to Soy 6. There's just so many women on both sides of the street. Far as you can see, on both sides, all these clubs full of women. And they all out in the street, man, grabbing you and holding you. And you be like, lady, don't touch me. Whose dick you been grabbing on, and rubbing. You don't try to be mean, but you're like, hold on now. Back up. What's up, Gary T? No telling where your mouth been. And they want to get all up on you and hold you and grab you. And there's some nice ones. Okay, Raymond, take care. It's just a spectacle, though. I had Mr. Lee take me there. I just wanted to say I seen it. And then we walked through Walking Street. Their Walking Street's totally different from the Red Street. But I just don't think the government goes far enough in trying to protect us when it comes to these dating scams and stuff. They just don't tell us enough information. I guess they figure, well, we intrude into your lives in so many other areas. We're going to leave your dating and your love life alone, not realizing, man, we really need help in that department. And like I said, we just think that it's men over here being mean and being stupid. But it's not, man. I promise you, there's something darker behind that, man. We don't really know it because we don't understand the stakes are so high over here, guys. Y'all don't understand it, man. It's not like you at home. They always trying to compare all women. Some guy says, they protect us against all women. Bullshit, man. It's not the same everywhere. He said, Soy 6, that's all I would say about that. Yeah. But we don't care because we think all men are blockheads. And if we just stop being gullible, it's going to stop. Now, we need to start holding people accountable. What's up, Sam W? He says, my 4 months in Thailand, I stayed away from the bar areas. I did too, really. I stayed in I forgot the name of this hotel. Hell, it was only $19, but I mean, I could, if I walked out the lobby, it was, on the street, a side street, and looked down, I could see Beach Road. I was 2 blocks from Beach Road. Aircon, hot water, the whole 9 yards. I really enjoyed myself, but you couldn't get in the water. But Chocolate Man Thailand, he messaged me, and we hooked up on Beach Road in one of those places, the coffee shops. Man, that's when I was like, wow, I could live right here. Because I love the beach, and you got that, all the traffic going both ways. Just the ambiance. Hey, I appreciate you too, man. Yeah, he said, I love Thailand. Hey, Lilibet, how's Frank? Tell him we said hello. I saw where Chicago won the other day. They going to quit hating on Caleb Williams. I've always liked Caleb Williams. What's up, Sheldon? But like I said on my video, what are you doing? Today, with all the victims of these dating scams over here, if it were anything other than dating, they would have been to launch an investigation. Something would have been officially done already. There would have been some type of memo. If it was armed robbery, kidnapping, assault, murder, just like the South Korean and a Chinese government did. They sent that memo out and people literally stopped coming here. It dried up, man. The Philippines is still a good place. The Chinese and South Koreans just aren't over here. Don't read into those lower numbers. That's the reason why they're down. Because they listen to their government. They said, look, we're not satisfied with the Philippine government's response as far as keeping our citizens safe. So don't go over there. Hell, travel.state.gov says don't go to Mindanao. It's a 3 and 4 there. There is no 2. The Philippines is 2 altogether because it's so spread out. And most of the places you're not gonna have any problem. But Mindanao is travel. It's travel advisory 3, level 3, and level 4. They don't want you down there, but we don't care. We don't care. Hey, thank you, Sakaria. Welcome to the 4th quarter. I appreciate it. He says, in my opinion, the dating thing in the Philippines is not hazardous if you follow the big head, not the small head, particularly men in the West. Yeah, but you have to understand, the biggest sex organ you've got, Lilibet, is here. It's not here. This controls this. And we're not talking about the overall dating scene. We're just saying that there's enough victims here, not just now, but over the decades, that there should be some warning. If 2,500 people got assaulted, something would be done. But if 2,500 men lose their life savings, nothing's being done. They're going to say, oh, it's really not that bad. Like you're saying, it is bad. There are women over here, not all women. I'm not generalizing. I'm saying there's enough victims over here that something is going on. It's a lot deeper than what we think. Okay? Hey, thank you, Southern Person. It's just my perspective. I'm just one man. There's 1 million Americans that come over here every year. But I'm just saying that every single day that goes by, I'm seeing a victim. Thank you, Southern Purchase, for that super chat. He says, are the women that are scamming these guys beauty queens? Kyle, I don't understand how savory 2s and 3s scam these guys. Well, it's all subjective, really, as far as looks, but they look like some. They must look a lot better than what they're used to having over there. But remember, we can't keep blaming the men for being gullible. He said, Sam, thanks for that super chat. He said the guy lost 12,000. She admitted it, and he was still simping to help her family. Is wild stuff. Them pig butcher rings are undefeated. Yeah, see, she was part of a ring. This woman was. This is what I'm talking about. Sam, thank you for bringing this up. Because people seem to think, oh, the dating scene is not that bad over here. It is. Okay, they've got perpetrators over here who are trying to separate you from your money. They know that how gullible some guys are, how lonely we are, and they're taking advantage. It's not all Filipinos. I would never say that. Okay, but it's bad enough that we need the government to step in. It's just to make an official statement and say, hey guys, you know, men have been known to lose their life savings, lose their lives from dating over here. We just want to let you know. No, they'll just tell you about a love scam. Oh, don't send money. If the person does this and does that, they don't go far enough. Confident Voice Speaks, thanks for that super chat. He said, I think if a man finds himself spending a lot of money and not having any type of control, it can cause major anxiety. Well, it affects all of your life, all aspects of your life when you do that. But sometimes it's taken all in one big swipe or, you know, over a short period of time. And sometimes the man is over in America. Sometimes he's here. You know, we talked about that the other day. This age gap relationships. Is it love or is it abuse? Sometimes it's abuse, but we don't look into it. We just say, oh, this is a lonely man. That's all. That's what we write it off as, and we leave it alone, man. Meanwhile, the victims are piling up. Nobody's even looking into it to see, hey, is it really something else other than us being blockheads? Hey, Sakaria, thanks for that super chat. He said, hey, OG, I'm back as a member. I had to change my financials. You remember me? Absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do. Thank you. He says, scammers are criminals. They need to go to jail, prosecuted. Thank you. This is all I'm saying. The reason it keeps going because nobody's held accountable over here. Okay? When you see these stories, no, you never see anybody going to jail. All right? And that's why they keep doing it. Because even if Mr. Robbie Tufo, as much as he's trying to help us, all he's going to do is try to get your money back or some of it back. He's not prosecuting these women. They're going to go and do it to somebody else. And most of the men do not go to Robbie Tufo. They just walk away. We just walk away and leave the money with the woman. That's all I'm saying. But as long as you say, oh, it's not that bad, you're right, it's not that bad, but at least let us know it's going on. They're not listening to me. They're not listening to anybody else that says stuff like this because they don't give us any credibility. They don't think we know what we're talking about. So maybe if the government puts it out there and goes into a little bit more detail about it and say, hey, you know, look at that guy, man. He's sleeping. Go on and watch that video, okay? And then you tell me, should something be done? Here's a man who is earning his retirement is 120,000 pesos a month. He don't even have access to it because a lady destroyed his documents. So now he's in some place, man, it's just a rat-infested shithole. That's all I can tell you. In Manila somewhere, he's renting a bed. They call them bed spacers. There's no way for him to be like that. He had some type of good career going on in Britain for him to have a retirement of 120,000 pesos. But all we want to do is laugh at people. He said money is the root of all evil. Or the love of money. Which one is it? Or the lack of money? Or just being an ornery fool could be the root of all evil. But not all of them. But you're right. He said the Filipina has the four M's in the back of the head. I think we're all victims. When you date over here, we're all victims to a certain extent. You're going to pay more to date a Filipina than you will to date a woman in America. I know it sounds crazy, and probably a lot of other places around the world. But it doesn't mean you're going to lose your life savings like some people are. But I think it's so bad that something needs to be done. Something more needs to be done. I'm sorry. But they're going to keep doing it. These stories are going to keep happening because we're not holding anybody accountable. Nobody's going to jail. Hey, what's up, Michael Alexander? Welcome to the chat. He said, Cal, as far as the dating sites, Christian Filipino vets their women a little better than some of the other ones, don't you think? Absolutely not. The same women on all these dating sites. All Christian Filipinos doing is charging more money. They can't guarantee you nothing. Don't buy into that stuff because you see these bloggers, they're getting paid. They try to contact me. I was like, I'm not interested. I'm not going to be complicit in my own robbery and the robbery of my audience. Okay, there's nothing you can guarantee me about your dating site. It's the same women on there. They're going to vet them. How they going to vet them? What are they going to do? You think they sending somebody up in the provinces and different places, Ron? They're not doing that. The same women are on these dating sites. And if they wasn't, they're going to limit the chance of meeting somebody. If I'm a woman over here and it's free for me to get on there at very little cost, I'm going to be on all of them because they all are. And then you're only on one because that's all you can afford. So then, when you meet the woman, she says, okay, if you really like me, then go ahead and cancel your account. And you cancel it like a damn fool. And she cancels hers, but she got 3 more other accounts that you don't know anything about. It's something sinister going on over here, man. And it has something to do with these dating sites. Because that's how we meet the women. I know women, man, that's all they do right here in St. Carlos City. Is fish on these dating sites looking for lonely men to talk to. Send me $20. You do that to 5 men, that's $100. That's 6,000 pesos in one day. And all she's doing is just telling them, yeah, you're handsome. Oh, you're 60? I thought you was 40 plus. I need to lose weight. Oh, you're not that big. And they get paid big money to do that. Hey, Sam, thanks for that super chat. He said, government should speak on scammers weaponizing loneliness. They use hope to separate men from their resources, and dudes feel shame and embarrassment. And that's the reason why we don't see more cases. I'm going to tell you that there's probably 10 times more stories out there than what we receive. There's more stories, but people are ashamed. They're embarrassed because their family already told them, don't go over there. Don't fool with that lady. Why are you going all the way over there? But now we're just saying that, let me get to this, because he's missing the whole point. What we're saying is, be more cautious. I wrote it down here. Where does it say? Okay. I thought I wrote that down here. About that. Being more cautious. Hey, thank you, John. Yeah, they're all Christian. Thank you, Sheldon. They ain't vetting no more, man. Don't let these people lie to you, man. They want your money. They'll tell you anything. Remember, the stakes are higher here. People will go to extreme lengths to separate you from your money. More than what they're going to do in your country. Because y'all don't understand the circumstances over here. That's just what it is. I'm just trying to tell you to be careful. The Beach of Life says, I'm telling y'all don't understand. The chicks at 7-Eleven will go out with you here. The girl at the fruit stand will go out with you. They're falling from the coconut trees here. He said those fat rolls don't look so bad. He said 10 years ago, the dating site was no longer safe. The majority of people there are men and women scammers. I wouldn't even go that far. I'm just saying that a lot of us, we think that we know. That's what I wanted to say. That's what I got. Okay. We don't have all the information on dating here. We think it's a walk in the park, not realizing that the stakes are much higher here. And some women will go extreme lengths to separate you from your money. See, we think we know. We don't even have our antennas up when we get on the dating site, which we should. We think it's just like at home. Oh, it's just like everywhere else. Women are the same all over the world. It's not true, man. We need to educate ourselves, like that guy said. I'm telling you this. We have to fight that with the same energy that they're putting out. Or we can't win, man. We don't have a chance. Because you're looking at the exterior only. And you're so far away. And then when you get over here, you think, oh, well, I'm in a foreign country. There's no help for me. There's no sense in me even filing any charges. So I'm just going to walk away. We're taking it on the chin over here. We're being absolute doormats like that guy is. Something's going on. That lady's going to take my documents and destroy them. You're going to pay some kind of way, lady. Everybody's going to know. I'm going to put your face on my YouTube channel. It's going to be on my Facebook page. I'm going to do something to get back at you. But that's what we're doing. We're just taking it on the chin. Leaving it open for somebody else to become a victim. Yeah. In a lot of ways it is. A lot of times we are gullible and blockheads, but sometimes, man, I'm telling you, and it's not gonna make a difference to you if you're the victim. You're gonna if 80% of them is men being gullible, and the other 20 are victims, and you're part of that 20, you ain't caring about that 80%. You're saying, I was lied to. I was scammed. Just like the guys bringing up about the 12,000 Sam W. that the Filipina, she's working with a network, guys, fooling this man, thinking he's buying into some type of business. Well, lady, you committed a crime, but okay, Robbie Tufo basically gets his money back. Now you file charges against the people, so they won't do it again, or they'll think twice about doing it again. Otherwise, there are other victims out there. Hey, Confident Boy Speaks, thanks for that super chat. He said they will go out with you, but you can't look like that guy that Calvin took a picture of with the high socks and shirt tucked in, smelling like cigarettes. Yeah. He said you pay for what you get. Well, in a lot of ways we do, man. Y'all act like there's no victims over here. Y'all just act like, and this is the attitude that causes me in so much trouble. We should be sticking together. We should be looking after our own best interests, but we don't do it. We're not like the South Koreans. We're not like the Chinese. You're going to keep blaming us for it, and nobody's going to be held accountable. If you're out there and you feel that you've been a victim of some type of dating scam, contact the local authorities. Let them scare her at least. Let her know that I'm just going to take it just standing around, you know, because there's a legitimate victims over here, and I'm not going to downplay that. I'm not going to downplay that. This is our time, guys. You know, don't give your retirement away. Don't give your retirement away, man. There's two things. Philippines are great in a lot of things. But remember, I told you there's two things that they're not. Running a business and managing money. Your money. Do you see when I watch these things, these episodes on Rafi Tufo, it's not the scams and the amount of money that, that raises my eyebrows. What raises my eyebrows is what the Filipino does with the money. Now, you done cheated these two, one Canadian, one American, out of 10 million pesos total. What are you doing with all the money? Why do you need, that's lifetime money for you over here. There has to be something bigger behind you, lady. 10 million pesos? And you still scamming people? She had like 15 men under her belt. That's what shocks me. It's like, what are y'all doing with this money? They running through money like it's water over here. What's up, King B Stacker? And congratulations on the birth of your son, man. He looks just like you, man. I'm sorry, but he does. He looks just like you, man. I know you glad to be back. Well, most of us aren't being, this is not the discussion, guy. Okay? This is not the discussion we're having. We're not saying that if you come over here, you're going to be taken advantage of. Creative K, what we're saying is there's enough victims over here that something needs to be done. Other than nothing. Nothing's being done. It doesn't, I'm not telling, you having a whole different discussion. He said, I don't know, man. I'm over here in the Philippines. I don't feel like I'm being taken advantage of. I willingly give up my American dollars. Well, this is not the discussion we're having. You're the 80%. You're the gullible. You're the blockhead. Okay? But that's not even the discussion we're having. We're talking about the 20%. The men who are losing everything. Even their lives in certain instances. Okay? That's all I'm saying. You've got a whole different conversation. And see, that's why I say a lot of people, they misinterpret what I be saying, but I'm tired of, I'm not going to be explaining my videos anymore. You either get it or you don't. If there was 2,500 Americans over here being robbed, armed robbery, kidnapped, assaulted, and murdered, something would be done. But because it's dating, nothing's being done. And it's going to keep happening. Because they think everybody's like you. Oh, we're just willingly giving our money away. Yeah, what do they buy? Nothing, really. Remember, I told you Maryland's sister had 3 million, basically stole 1.5 million from the man. Don't have 1 peso to rub against the other right now. All of a sudden, they become these business geniuses. And they want to go into business. And they end up spending all that money. In 6 months, she was broke. As a joke. That's what shocks me. Yeah. She scammed 15 men out of millions. What's up, Jack? And we need to have these discussions over and over. Repetition, man. You think you popped out of your mother's womb and started walking? How do you think you started walking, driving a car, doing most anything? Repetition. So if we talk about this over and over and over about what to look out for and all of that, eventually it's going to stick in your head and you'll be able to see it like a flashing red light. But right now, all you're seeing is the little 4'11", 100-pound woman with skinny jeans, short shorts, and that okay top, looking like $1 million. That's all you're seeing. You're not seeing what's behind there. We come over here, man, and get mistreated so bad, knowing you're not going to let anybody mistreat you like that at home. Yeah, he's still trying to help the woman, and this is the problem. He's not holding her accountable. He said, okay, yeah, let me still help you. Not realizing, dude, there's so many more victims. You was just the one that came to the forefront. How many other men are out there? Yeah, the life saving is a big difference. Yeah, he looks just like you. And see, this is my problem with the embassy. They know Booby looks just like me. Okay, that's how you really know. If you have a baby by a woman over here, we have the stronger genetics. So, it's always going to come out like that. When you look at my 3 Filipino American children, you don't see any Filipino in them till they open their mouth and they start speaking Tagalog or Bisaya or English. Otherwise, they just look like, black children. That's all they look like. You can't see one speck of Filipino in them at all. Okay? 0. But he said, yeah, thank you, Cal. He definitely looks like me. Everyone says it too. There's no hiding the fact he's my son. I got strong genes like you. Yeah, he looks just like you. And he's little. I'm like, damn. Well, in your case, it is consent. In your consent, okay, that's in your case, it's not. But sometimes we're complicit in our own robbery, like you are. You're getting robbed and don't even know it. It costs more to date a woman over here than probably anywhere in the world. But I haven't been anywhere in the world, but I'm telling you, it's very expensive when you come over here and you start dealing with women over here. It's very, very expensive. And people won't tell you that. Well, I'm telling you it is. It's very, very expensive. That's why I don't talk about budgets. Okay? Because you're never going to get honest about how much you're spending on that woman and her family. He said, expat men need more support. Ain't these women... Okay, yeah. Maybe it's a top. He said, these women should be getting away with scamming for what these expat men work for. It can be life-ending, guys. It can be an effing joke. Yeah, but we won't support each other because you got guys like Creative K coming forward. Oh, man, it's not robbery. We're giving our money away freely. Guys are just being gullible. They're blockheads. So nobody's held accountable. Nobody goes to jail. So they do it over again. He said, don't get a pig, a piggery. See, Jack's been coming over here long enough. See, this is the type of stuff I'm saying that we eventually, the light bulb goes on, but a lot of you guys don't know this. Simple stuff like this. So you meet the girl, you say, okay, yeah, I'm going to try to help her because, it just, it makes good sense. You start bringing that matrix thinking, well, if I start a business for her, I don't have to give her any money. She can earn her own money. Remember, they're not good in business, at running businesses. There's really only 2 things that they can't do, and those are the 2. But a new guy doesn't know this simple thing right here because this is what you're going to get hit with. Or a wholesale rice business. They're going to try to get you to do that. And it's going to make good sense to you. Because you're going to say, yeah, that's less money I got to spend. Until you pour all that money in there. Ask my buddy Durrell in Seattle, Washington. A great guy. you know, but I guarantee you he regrets that piggery down in Iloilo he started. And he's no dummy, but he's trying to help. They ate up all the damn pigs. And he's like, well, where's the profit? Well, we ate them. You're supposed to sell the pigs, knuckles, head, not eat them. You know. He said, what's good? What's up, Jason? He said, glad I was well with you and the family. I'm looking at moving to Vietnam for a few months. Then I might slide through the Philippines, bro. Just want to say hi. Hey, thank you, man. This is the guy that gave me the advice. He said, Cal, why don't you have some live streams, 2 or 3 live streams every week, so your audience and your viewers and subscribers can get to know you. It's great information. It was probably some of the best information I got. That's why when people come over here, it's almost like I know you already. We know each other already. I haven't met one stranger over here. The minute I see him, it's like I know you already. He said, what's real freedom? Learning and mastering how to extract profits, wealth from the stock market. Oh, hell, watch this, guys. Yeah, get rid of this guy. He's spamming over here. He said, let her use her own money to start a business and there's a much better chance of success. Man, you're saying a whole lot here. This is the reason why they run through so much of your money, because it's not their money. They didn't work for it. They didn't earn it. So it's like, okay, I'm going to blow it. Then no big deal. But that woman had scammed 15 men, and she had cash, she had houses, and she's still out there scamming. Yeah, he said Asian ventures with Jim, just charged it to the game and took a loss. He's starting fresh in Cambodia. Jim can help a lot of you guys, but all they want to do is laugh at Jim. They don't think Jim knows what he's talking about. He's honest, man. He's honest. He's not ashamed to tell you, I messed up. He front-loaded that relationship like a lot of us do. Yeah, we already said that, man. Are you turning into a troll or something, dude? I thought you was okay. We said 80% of us are gullible and blockheads. But there's 20% of legitimate victims over here, man. I mean, what's your point here? We do hold them accountable. But they're like you. They know that they're being gullible and blockheads. But some people who lose their life savings, man, I mean, they're in their 60s, 70s, man, and all their money's gone. All their hope is gone. Everything they work for, man, it's nothing to laugh about. You guys are crazy, man. You're not going to come on my channel and make fun of guys like that. Because I know guys that lost their life savings over here. It's nothing to laugh about. You guys are crazy. But when it happens to you, you'll be all up in my DM trying to get some help from somebody. Let's hope it don't happen to you. But you're not going to laugh at people on my channel. There's legitimate victims over here who did everything right, who tried to, be responsible and everything like that, only to find out the woman's got somebody else. Okay, draining your account. Okay, the first expat that I ever met over here, this should have told me something. The very first expat I met over here is a great guy. His name is Kurt. I'll just tell you that. He was dealing with a woman, taking good care of her, built them a small house, right? Sending her, I think, and this is 2009 when I met him, so I think he was doing this in like 2007, 2008, sending $10,000 a month, only to find out the woman had a Filipino boyfriend. And all the money he was giving her and everything, the man's living in the house, she giving it to him. Only reason he found out was her first cousin told him. Now he's married to the first cousin. They've been married, I guess. I met him in 2009. So I think they probably been married either at least since then. So they probably been married about 17 years or something like that. The very first foreigner I ever met was getting scammed over here by just a regular woman, he thought. He's coming over here, going back and forth to see her. He loved her enough, you know, to build them a small house. The shit's happening, man. But y'all think it's funny. Yeah. And then you can't restock. That's what happened to Donna Faye. Remember, we built her house, gave her the business and everything like that. What she didn't give away on credit, she ended up eating. They ended up eating. It wasn't, I promise you, it wasn't 2 weeks later. She's selling the freezer that we bought to keep the beer and the Cokes cold. She's selling it on Facebook. But don't y'all get me wrong. Y'all misinterpreting this. I'm not talking about all women over here. But there's enough victims, man, that you gotta start being cautious, man. It's deeper than what you seem to think. You only think there's a few victims because that's all you see and hear about. It's a whole lot of them, man. It's a whole lot of people that's getting taken for their life savings, having their retirement stolen. I'm sounding the alarm. Really? That's all. Oh, absolutely, over here they do. Over here they do. But that's not what you don't come to my meet and greets to meet women. You come there to just, have a good time. You won't appreciate a meet and greet until you over here for a while and you don't have anybody to talk to but your girlfriend. Because a lot of times the women there are already with somebody. Every now and then they may bring a friend or something. If I have it in St. Carl City, some of Maryland's friends always come. But there's very few single women there. You know. Yeah. But see, we're thinking that we're helping them. We're front loading, Frank. He says if the bank will not give them a business loan, why should we? Why should we? That's a great question. We think that, okay, it's our responsibility. Well, she's been laying down. We've been sleeping together. We live together for a certain amount of time. That makes good sense. That'd be less money out of my pocket. Do you got a business plan, ma'am? Have you ever had a business before? Well, why is it such a good idea? What makes you think right now you can own a business? Okay? Well, let me read this one first. He said, "Yeah, that's what meet and greets are good for, meeting each other and speaking English." Yeah, it's not meeting women unless when we had that meet and greet at Philly's sports bar in Mango Square. If you want to meet some women, you know. He said, every expat I've talked to, including me, have made the exact mistake to one degree or the other. And we just need to see the thing about you, though, Jack. You'll come out and you'll tell it. Most of these guys over here, they want you to think they're living a perfect life over here. They don't make any mistakes. They got it all figured out. Knowing good and well that we're all victims to a certain extent. When you start dating 8,000 miles from home, okay, you better let that sink in. You're all a victim. We're all victims to a certain extent because it's expensive. Okay, you can't work over here. What you gonna earn? Yeah, you definitely need that, and you wouldn't experience it. He said, I bought 3 pigs a year ago. We still have one. She's on her fourth litter. I did it for my family and I made my money back. Yeah, I wouldn't even consider that a piggery though. 3 pigs, now you're down to one. Hell, you just got a pet pig, King B. What's the name? Sally? What's the name? That's all, if you that would be a piggery for me. One pig, one sow. And if you don't have, so that makes perfect sense right there. You start having babies, you sell the babies. And you still got Sally there to keep producing babies or whatever. But I wouldn't even consider that a piggery. That's something very manageable. But you know how we are. We bring our matrix mindset over here. So we start out buying 10 pigs. Look at the piggery where Jim, look how many pigs they got. He said, turn on Tinder in Cebu or Angeles City, have your fun and get back on that plane. That's the only way to win. Well, hell, you've already lost, though. You spending all that money just to get over here. Hell, it ain't that much Tinder in the world. It ain't that much Tinder in the world. You might as well turn the Tinder on Mexico or the DR. Yeah, it's a long-ass way over here. But I have these discussions because I want you to know the game you're entering into when you decide to play over here. We don't have enough pre-game strategies. We just get on the plane and come over here. We watch a few videos and think, okay, I got this now. We'll go over here and get a young, attractive 30-year-old woman. I'm 70. I'm going to give me a 30-year-old woman. I'm 60. I'm going to get a 20-year-old woman. And that's it, Good night, Irene. No, you just getting started. You just getting started. You have no idea what's behind that lady. See, there's a saying, and I know you've heard it before. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. And how does that work into what goes on over here? Real simple. I wrote it down. When she comes to you so easily, there's probably some hidden agenda. Okay, have you ever thought, why is it so easy to meet a woman and she's going to agree to everything I ask her to do? Meet me at the airport, and we're going to live together on day one? If that doesn't cross your mind, you are a damn fool, and there is no help for you. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. If she comes to you that easy, there's a hidden agenda, man. Okay? I'm sorry. But we don't even think about it like that. We just think, oh man, it's my lucky day. Like I thought all those years ago. Coming back to America, telling all my friends, get on a dating site, man. These Philippines, they're real serious, this and that. Not realizing I'm leading the flock to slaughter. I'm leading them to slaughter. Because I didn't know what I didn't know. He said, it was interesting in Thailand. It seemed every woman I spoke with, minimum 100,000 baht in debt or more, and wanted help with me. It's fascinating. I said their relatives took it out in their name. I'm pretty sure I can't tell you the stories over there because I don't have any experience, but I know the stories here. I can just imagine though. But Americans, we're the same wherever we go. It's just as many Americans that go to Thailand and come over here. We got similar stories because we've raised up in the same environment. We were raised from the same soil. The same stuff is going on with Americans in Thailand over here. They don't have any better over there. Because it's not like you can take your man out and rinse it off and put it back in. You've got all that American indoctrination in your head. You're going to save somebody. It's not going to happen to me. My girl's different. That's for them other guys because they blockheads. Now, I'm smarter than everybody else. This is the typical American way we think. And then when you do lose, you're not going to tell anybody. We only tell somebody when we're winning. There's a guy who talks to me all the time about the winning at the casino. Like, dude, you know you talking to a seasoned gambling addict, and you're not winning all the time, dude. I'm saying this to myself, not to him, but he's bragging about all the money he wins because we're only going to tell you when we're winning. We're not going to tell you when we're losing. When we've lost it all, we go home and our chin is dragging the ground, looking around, did I drop something? Thinking, where can I get another, $10, just one more spin? It's the same over here. Americans, man, we're cut from a different cloth. I'm sorry, but we are. Yeah, pet pig. Yeah, that's all. He don't got no piggery. That's what he's got. He's like, it might as well be Shirley back there. Shirley had 4 litters. We give him all away. But this last one, I call him Yappy. That's his name, Yappy, because that's all he did when he was little. He's still little, but really little. Yapping and whining all the time. He said Lyra is her name. She has produced 100,000 pesos in 3 or 4 lechon. Yeah. That would be, if I'm going to do something like that, that'd be the extreme I'm going to go to. Because we just bought, me and Marilyn's mother went half. We bought 2 goats. I just haven't showed y'all yet. Because the people we bought them from, we just letting them stay over there in their field. For 4,000 pesos. Well, one of them is the female goat. So she's going to produce. I just did it really, and the name is Lola and Booby. So whatever they make, it's going to be for her mother. The other one's like a pet for Booby, really. It wasn't a business. But that's the way you go. If you're going to do something like that, you start out little like that. Now we start out big. We start out big. Yeah, at least give us time to know each other. And this is what we don't do. No, you don't only learn through experience. Experience is, they say, is the best teacher, but sometimes, like Vendino said, sometimes it's wasted on old men. If I tell you that the stove is hot, you don't have to touch the damn stove to know it's hot. But you can touch it anyway. It ain't gonna help. It ain't gonna mean that what I told you wasn't true. You think you gotta touch that hot ass stove to experience the heat to know that it's hot? When I'm sitting here telling you I'm in my right mind, hey man, don't touch that stove, it's hot. Sometimes experience is overrated. Sometimes we got to trust in each other. We got to have each other's back 8,000 miles away. A guy stopped me today. I was walking, man, American guy. And we chatted for about 10 minutes. He's getting ready to get his Social Security. I helped him. I told him the process because he's getting ready to go all the way back home to do it. I said, you don't have to do it. It's all done on the phone. And we talked. I said, man, we got to have each other's back over here. I thanked him for stopping me because he didn't have to stop me. He's on his motorcycle. But we don't do that. He said, agree, Mr. Sunshine. If the lassie is interested, invested in you, tread with ease as much as a man feels. It's going to cost you, man. It just depends on, well, how much is it going to cost me? Am I going to just have a woman and be responsible over here? Or am I going to be taken for everything I work for? The choice is yours. There is no in between. You're either going to meet a good woman over here, and yeah, you're still going to buy everything and take care of everything, or you're going to lose everything. There's no in between there. And the choice is yours. If you want to rush in, well, they say only fools rush in, and go ahead. See, it's guys like this that end up getting their head busted, enough of them. And then they'll blame it on the Philippines, all the vloggers. He said, yeah, you the same kind that led us to the slave ships, yeah, headed to America. Yeah, it's not that bad. They got air conditioning on the ship, man. Free food and everything. You gotta have your own place on the damn ship. They only give you your own room with a view of the ocean. He said, you can plug talent in for the Philippines and the story is the same. Yeah, I listen to you because the information transcends countries. It really does. But you know, Americans, we're going to argue and we're going to debate. That's what we like to do. It's in our blood. If you want to ruin your vacation or your retirement and just flush it down the toilet, get with the wrong Americans over here and start talking sports, religion, and politics. You're done. We can't leave it alone. Some guy was all in my DMs today. I'm like, look, dude, I'm retired, man. Got time for all that stuff you talking about. Okay, it's no big deal. I mean, I make a video, you respond to it. Okay, you know what? What's the problem? I said what I said. Me and I tired of being taken for granted. If you watching this video, you tired of being taken for granted. That's why you trying to get over here or get somewhere. You're tired of being unappreciated. I am. That's why I'm over here. But just because I make a video doesn't mean you have to reply to it. You just keep scrolling. But he just kept going back and forth. I'm like, dude, I'm retired, man. Okay, stop. He's over in America right now. It's just in our system. No, it's a lot more than 10%, man. It's at 21 million right now. It was at 39.9 million. Might as well say 40 million at full strength, 2019. You know, but the bottom line is, man, a lot of these, you know, the economy and then a lot of, like I said, man, the Chinese and the South Koreans, man, they ballers, man. It was twice as many South Koreans who come to the Philippines than Americans. And they're wielding big money. We don't have the money that a lot of them have. And they're closer to the Philippines or the Chinese. They don't come over here playing. It's like when you see Africans over here, they ain't over here on vacation. They ain't over here playing. They're into something. They're either going to school, running a business, or scamming somebody. They ain't on vacation. I'm talking about the Africans that are coming from Africa. Same with the Chinese and South Koreans. They building whole communities over here. We don't do that. The closest thing we'll have to a community is we all hang out at the same bar in Angeles City. I mean, they're actually coming over here building communities. If you don't believe me, go to Lapu Lapu. At one time, man, that was Little Korea. I know when I first came here it was. Even in the last time I was really in Lapu Lapu is around Christmas of 2022, I want to say. Yeah. Getting ready to go into 2023. And I go to this, me and my buddy Smiley, we looking for a massage. So right up the street from where we were staying, it's a massage. Well, damn, we walk in, it's really for Koreans only. They want if they done built their own massage place. It's like a palace, really. We knew it was going to be expensive. We didn't want to see how much. Hell, it was $6,500 for a 1 hour massage. And then they had all kinds of stuff. But it was for Koreans. They built it. Do you think we're going to come over here and do something like that? We're not. He said, that's right. People have no problem posting pictures of their plane seat when they're flying business. But how often do they post their seat in coach? Yeah. Thank you. That's exactly right. But this is the American way. Why do you think Facebook is so popular? It's really human nature. You're only going to show the good. You're never going to talk about the bad. Thank you. Thank you. It's called the sugar contract, Frank. He says, I'm willing to bet none of the men had none of the women to sign a legal contract for a loan. Absolutely. It's called the sugar contract, and we all sign it over here. If you come over here and you fool with a Filipina and you're going to stay in the Philippines and she's living with you and whatever you're doing, everything's in her name. That's the sugar contract. One of the richest men in the Philippines told me that. Certainly one of the most powerful men. I never knew about the sugar contract. That's what he called it. It's true. Yeah, there's legitimate victims over here, guys. Y'all don't understand. We're not all fools. You talking about men who are very accomplished in their home countries. And they just come over here and they end up trusting the wrong woman. That's all it is. Because they don't want to take any counsel from people like me and people who's been over here. Jack Wolfanger and Michael Beach of Life, they've been over here long enough. King B. Stacker's been over here long enough. Thomas Marshall been over here long enough. Frank Tate, that can tell you something about how things are operating over here. You don't give us any credibility. Oh, he said, oh, he's just a hater. He said, ain't no game. You hold criminals accountable. If you don't, it just keeps growing into the epidemic it is today. That's why. That's what I said. No one's being held accountable over here, and that's the problem. They know you're not going to hold them accountable, but the universe does. Okay, remember I told you the woman that took the $1.5 million from the man? He took it on the chin. He walked away. But the universe beat her to a pulp, ripped up one side and down the other. She's worse off now than she ever was, probably in her whole entire life. The universe gets them, but they don't know anything about that. They just think, oh, I got this. I just had to. Some people just can't help themselves. The way business is done, not just here, but a lot of places, but certainly here, they'll try to get you one good time instead of thinking, you know what, I've got a good client, a good foreigner. He's coming to me every month. I need to treat him good. Well, the tutor for Booby going to try to slide one in on me. Well, on Maryland then, because I'm paying for it. That's okay, it's done. Give her the money and we're done. We don't need her anymore. So he tries to slide in and get one extra month, 2,800 pesos, right? It's going to cost her, what's 2,800 times 12? It's going to cost her that. So yeah, here's the 2,800. Take it. But you won't get the other 2,800. Okay. He said air conditioned slave ship. Yeah, he said, y'all wow. But that's what happens, man. Hey, I appreciate you. I was just looking at our picture the other day where we shoulder to shoulder, Roger, on the boulevard in Dumageddon. And I thought to myself, man, this guy's happy. And these are the type of guys that I like meeting over here. You can see the real happiness, man, of what happens when they leave the rat race, the hamster wheel, even just to take a break. I think Roger was on a 3-month break. You don't have to move any place, but get out of that rut you're in. Stop all that old arguing about what place is better. Get out of there. You're wasting too much time. Remember, this is our time now. The clock is ticking, man. If you don't do it now, you're never going to do it. It's never going to get done because you're going to be dead. And even if you do live to be 95, what can you do then? You ain't going to blow no woman's back out at 95 unless you're going to just sit there and blow in her behind. He says, I watched a woman explaining how she pays each month for a 4-week cruise. $2,200 in all. Food, housing, entertainment. She's smart. It is, man. We need to be rewarded for all the work and all the sacrifices that we make, man. I've been working really since I was 10. And I retired at 55. So for 45 years, don't you think I deserve a break? I can do something for myself. I don't have to do. Being selfish and practicing self-preservation isn't mean, man. It's really healthy. So if you want to buy that gold watch or take the cruise or take the vacation to Thailand or the Philippines or whatever, go ahead and do it without feeling any type of guilt at all. He said, if you want a woman in Southeast Asia, you better test them in every way. It doesn't take long to see their true personality. If they want money or jealous or have bad tempers, it's easy to test. Well, time is the best tester. But we're in such a hurry, we don't understand that nothing moves fast in the Philippines. I don't know about these other places. It's slow and methodical over here. Everything. Even relationships for real. Only thing, they speed you up. And we speed ourselves up. And we do all this stuff in the beginning before we even know the woman. We don't know her personality. We don't know how jealous she is, and how vengeful she is. We really don't even know her middle name. We can't remember her birthday. And we're doing all this stuff already, man. You do stuff over here that you would never think of doing in your country. Something happens to us, but y'all won't listen. I know because it happened to me. What would make you think that, okay, you're moving in with a complete stranger. You don't know if the woman's manic depressive. You don't know if she's a serial killer. You don't know nothing. All you know is she met you at the airport with that little bitty bag of her belongings, and then y'all start moving in together. That's all you know. How crazy is that? But we do it every single day. Somebody's doing it right now. Right as I'm speaking right now, they'll make a stupid ass video. They're running in slow motion. Oh, this is the first time I meet my foreigner in person. You know, in real life. Not realizing you probably run into your damn killer. We know nothing about each other. Yeah. No. Ain't no extra. Man, it's just a regular, this is just a regular massage, dude. Because they got money. A lot of us over here, we're scraping the bottom. That's why you worry about a budget. If you worry about a budget, you probably don't have enough money. You heard your mother and father say it before. If you have to ask how much it costs, you can't afford it. If you go to a Rolls Royce dealership, you don't ask them how much it is, because people who go to the Rolls Royce dealership already know I can afford it. I want that one over there. You already have an idea how much it costs. Okay, you already informed. Fully they call it full disclosure. But in us, we're guessing all the time. We don't educate ourselves. We just get on a plane and come over here. No, those people don't have a budget. It's $6,500. So when you go to places like Lapu-Lapu, see, Lapu-Lapu used to be a tourist. I mean, really a tourist place, man. Y'all think I'm joking. People are there now looking at it because you're looking at the lockdown and the effect that it had on the Philippines. You know, who knows if the Philippines will ever recover? The Philippines was booming. The lockdowns messed up a whole lot over here, man. I'm telling you. I was here before, during, and after. Lapu-Lapu was the real deal. So you'll go over there and you'll get a manicure and pedicure. You're used to paying 70 pesos for it. It's 400 just for your manicure. And another 400 for your pedicure. Because it was a tourist attraction. It was a tourist place. Hey, what's up? Ron Edie? He said, what's up, Big Cal? Thanks for kicking the knowledge. When's the next time you back to the States? I really don't know, man. You know, I was talking about that the other day, man. That plane ride. It's so brutal, man. I got a friend, Jim. He's probably home now. He went home for the holidays. I said, man, I got to give it to you. I love to be home with some of that chitlins and hog mogs and macaroni and cheese and real, candy yams, sweet potatoes and all that stuff. And that squash zucchini casserole and just all that stuff, man. My mother used to bake them oysters, man. Oh my God. All that stuff, cranberry sauce. Sitting there looking at the Detroit Lions play the Chicago Bears every damn year. Dallas and Minnesota. It never was. There was them as the four teams every now and then they might squeeze in Green Bay. What's up, man? Those are the days, man. I still miss those times, man. Hey, thank you, Ron. But we do crazy stuff, man. You would never. I mean, we don't even vet women, man. We just take them for their work. Take them on their words. Remember with age gap relationships, they say the first few years are the best years. But then after that, it's all downhill. It gets ugly. It gets disrespectful. I've seen it. I've seen it over here with my own eyes. The woman don't even hide it. The man is old. He can't do anything. So she goes out. She got a younger guy. Even got an apartment. It just, it gets ugly. He said he gave him 20,000. He said all these scams are vital for the Philippines economy. If the money stops, then the economy goes downhill. For the most part, Filipinos are very honest, really. I've got so many stories I can tell you, just personal stories, where I can vouch for that. But I'm just saying that we just rush over here. We ignore all the red flags, the whistles, the guys on the side waving the flags like, man, hey, trying to get your attention. All we see is a woman at the waiting gate, the waiting area. And it turns into a disaster for a lot of us. Far too many of us. For nothing to be done. See, this is what's going over y'all's head when I made the video today. Nothing's being done to protect you. Okay? This is why it's very vital for you to kind of listen to people when they tell their stories and tell stories about men losing their money and the games that some women play over here. Not all of them, but enough of them. There's enough victims over here that something should be done. You should be, when you go onto that travel.state.org, there should be something on there to tell you, hey, look, be careful, meeting women on those dating sites and getting involved with them. Men have been known to lose it all, even their lives. Just something simple like that will get your attention. You'll be like, damn, the government's saying this? But as Americans, we don't listen. We don't respect authority. We're free to be fools. You got people living down in Mindanao right now when the government tells you don't go there. Thousands of Americans, man. They say to hell with this travel.state.org. .gov, rather. The people tell you don't go down there. And then when something happens, it's a big story. And they just sitting back like, we got a whole website telling these fools to stay out of Mindanao. But somebody convinces you that it's okay. Your friend or something, one of these videos or something. I'll visit there, man. But anytime I visit there, believe it or not, even though I've never had any problems, it's in the back of my head. once I realized it, see, when I came to the Philippines, there was no sunshine shoulders. I knew nothing about what goes on down south. Nobody told me. I could have got on the plane and landed in Baziland for all I knew. But y'all don't have any excuse. We're giving you the information. You're just ignoring it. Nobody told me. The first time I learned about it was in 2010 because my wife, the Filipina that I married, was married to for 10 years. That's where she's from. But I knew nothing about Zamboanga, the history or nothing. She's just from Zamboanga. Okay, I'm in Cebu. She flew from Zamboanga to Cebu. Then, after we was together and everything, we went back to Zamboanga. I didn't know anything. It was just, having a good time. But the second time I came there, she hit me over the head with it. And I was like, well, why didn't you tell me? Now I'm looking over my shoulder, in the back of my mind. I was like, okay, when are they going to strike? Because y'all think I'm joking. Her mother, this is when I start staying with the mother in the squatters area whenever we were in Zamboanga. Because the mother said, I don't like y'all staying in those hotels. And I was like, well, why? They talking in their language, and she's telling me. I said, well, why? She said, yeah, because, sometimes if they come by for their payment, if they're not paying that rebel tax, that's what I call it, it could be trouble, and I'll be damned. The same day, one of those pension houses down there was blown up. 3 people were killed. And I was like, but I never had any problems, but it's crazy, man. They tell you don't go down there. But you got people living down there. Hey, what's up, Ray? He said, what's up, Cal? This is Ray over in Lapu Lapu. What's a good way to arrange a date? You arrange a date at a restaurant so you can chat with them, just give me your opinion. Yeah, that's a good place. I would do it in the mall. That way they're more likely to trust you because you're out in a public area. Any public area, if you're going to meet them over here, that would be a good way. Hey, thank you. Yeah, I'm back. I'm right by the window now. And I got it opened up just a little bit. I finally found a good spot. I used to be turned around the other way. And just by accident, I turned this way the other day. I was moving I'm on the ironing board. My computer's sitting on the ironing board. I was moving my ironing board around, and I looked, and I was like, well, damn, I should be looking this way all the time. Yeah, she said chitlin. I love chitlin, man. I ain't ashamed of that. This is 100% facts right here. He said people often underestimate Filipinos and Philippines in general. It's almost as if we see them as innocent kids. And that's one of the problems. That's what I just said. We look at that exterior, man. A lot of these women, man, they'll chew you up and spit you out. But you don't know if you're with the right one or not until it takes a little time. The guy was like, test, and test. Well, time will tell that, but we don't give it time. We moved the woman in the very first day. It's crazy. What are you doing, hon?
Do you have
what?
600?
Just give it. Does she got change?
No.
Well, I don't have change. Go over there and get what? Here, give me some more in here, please.
Well,
where are you going to get change? Yeah, see, me and Merlin, we both got a manicure and pedicure. It was $10 with the dollar being so strong over here. It's 150 pesos, and that's only because she comes to the house. See, if you don't think this is something changed, man, don't you know I was a chronic nail biter my whole life? Not only did I bite my nails, I used to bite my skin. When I'm in the Philippines, I don't do any of that. But when I was at home for those 7 weeks, I started back biting my nails and stuff. But when I'm over here, I don't do it. But yeah, you're right. We do underestimate them. We don't know enough about them. And it's like on the job training, man. For some of us, luckily, man, women over here are good. But there's just too many victims for us not to be doing nothing about the crime that affects so many men over here. I'm not even talking about the vast majority of the women we meet. They're good women, but when you're talking about, I believe that's just a small guesstimate. I'm saying 2,500. That's probably a lot more than that. And nothing being done about it. It's just getting, because of the internet and because of the popularity of the Philippines and certainly the lockdowns, it added some spice to the game that wasn't there before. They've got their antennas up. They're seeing little Maria and how far she's come in a short period of time. And they're saying, that's what I want. Friend of mine, he's probably still watching here now. He said the girl he met over here, and he's got a nice girl. I got to give it to you, Sheldon. He said the sister's jealous of her now because she got a foreigner. Because they know the life's going to change. But that doesn't, but we shouldn't forget about the victims, man. What's up? King B says, I brought more food back from the U.S. than everything else. Velveeta cheese. Oh, wow. Yeah, for mac and cheese. Little Debbie cakes and chocolate for the kids. Pepperoni sticks and blocks of cheddar cheese. You miss all that little stuff. They had me eating those Slim Jims when I got back home. My daughter was eating them. And I bit into one. I was like, oh, what have I done? That's so addicting. And I know I don't need them. And then I'm going to tell you something else I got addicted to. And I'm glad I got away from it. Those grape monster, not monster, but any grape energy drink over there. They were like $1.49, man. Them things, man, was like crack. They taste so good when they ice cold. But they're not good for you. But they're delicious. What's up, Frankie? He said, guys must understand that they are still in the real world when they come over here. Something happens to us. And once I wrap my mind around it, I'm going to talk about that. Right now, all I can get to is temporary insanity. But you're right about this. Something happens to us when we get over here. I don't know what it is. Of course, the woman's in the center of it. But I think it's deeper than that. I think it's psychological, man. I know that chronic loneliness and isolation has an effect on us. And then you put the woman in there. Then your imagination starts mixing it all up. And then next thing you know, you're out of $100,000. A guy sat over there, I interviewed him. And he told you the story about how he ended up losing $100,000 over here, just like that. Building the house and all of that, taking care of the woman and the kids. Then the woman didn't want him no more. She ended up getting a job, becoming an OFW. He was out of $100,000, man, in no time. And he's not even, he claimed he's welcome to go back to the house he built. But I'm like, well, why would you want to do that? Why would you even want to do that? I would feel stupid. He said, we don't listen to any of the warning signs. It's all about the woman. Certainly about the woman. But see, I've met Thomas Marshall. I've met King B. Stacker. These are real guys, and I can kind of, when I see their comments, I see their face. It's different. He says Sunshine Shows inspired me to come here. I was going to Thailand until the algorithm suggested one of his videos. That was during COVID. This is my third time here, 1 year boots on the ground total. Yeah, you got a good situation, which a lot of us do. But we always want to forget the victims. We can't leave those guys behind. Because when you ignore stuff like that, it's going to be more victims. It's so many that the stories don't faze us no more. They're boring. Ah, that damn fool. You know, look under that video that I put in the description for y'all to look at and see what these guys are saying. I told you, this is why a lot of expats don't want you to interview them. They don't want their lives on YouTube. And I don't blame them, because we're the worst critics of all. We're ornery, man. We're nasty. They don't even know the man. I'll look at, another one bites the dust. They just saying all this nasty stuff about the man. Here he is over there. I mean, he's living in just the worst place, man. The fan doesn't even have this, a little bitty fan. It doesn't even have the guard around it. So if he just all of a sudden forgets that it's there and raises up in his bed, hell, he's going to get a free haircut. It's that bad, man. I mean, they walking up just some steep stairs. It's dark. Can you imagine coming from the West, where you've worked your whole life, you're used to a certain standard of living, and now all of a sudden, it's going to hit you one time when you're walking up them steep-ass, dark-ass steps. What in the world happened? How did I get here? And I know it hit him. Hey, guys, I got to get off here, man, my battery. But thank y'all so much for your super chat, super stickers, all your thumbs up, all your support for Sunshine Shoulders. Thank y'all for listening, man. I mean that, man. But remember, guys, look both ways before you cross the street. We need to vet the women a lot more. Remember, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. That just means when she comes to you so easily, there's probably some hidden agenda, man.